Okay. Well, music is the total communicator, and we have such beautiful music coming from this incredible band. I don't know if we acknowledge them enough, but I want to acknowledge them right now. And I want to say welcome to Unity. If you're here, is there anybody here for the first time? Raise your hand. Keep it up. Keep your hand up in the air. We have a gift for you. There you go. Ushers coming down. Keep your hand up. That's the only way they can find you. They're coming from the back. And all right, cool. As I say quite often on Sunday at this time, you're in the right place at the right time. Because if you look at the outer-directed world, which is sometimes referred to as the illusion-driven world, operating from a false premise, a false definition of life, you see that it has become even more insane and continues to grow in that direction. And so there is no exit in the thinking of the world. We have to transcend the thinking of the world. And we do that by taking on the principles of truth. And that's what you will be hearing and experiencing in this talk shared by Syntysche. Look forward to this talk.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. As I always say, everyone here who's in-house and everyone who's joining us online, we love spending time with you every Sunday, so thank you for hanging out with us. We would like to invite everyone, as many of you remember, you can see we have no pianist right now, as our good friend Larry Morrison, who's been our keyboardist for over 34 years, has passed away. We'd like to invite everyone to his Celebration of Life service. That's going to be on Friday, June 27th, right here, at 10 a.m. Everyone's invited, even if you only knew him through enjoying his music and his loving enthusiasm for piano. Even if that's the only way you knew him, you are absolutely welcome to join, share a story, tell a story about a song you really love that he played, anything like that. So definitely come join us June 27th at 10 a.m. for Larry Morrison's memorial. All right, thank you.
Everyone, welcome to Unity today. This is the point in our service. It's a call for prayer. If you have anybody that's facing a challenge in their life, or even including you, we like to invite you to write their name down on a piece of paper. You don't have to put their last name or the issue, because we know we are all one, and it's really a practice of becoming part of our higher consciousness and moving them through and seeing them becoming back to wholeness and homeostasis. And it's okay to put your name down, and we'll hold that space for you as well. But we like to sing this song to leave the world outside these doors and just come in the presence of this next 50 minutes to just bless yourself and connect with God. You are the air I breathe. You are the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me, and I'm grateful for you. And I'm grateful for you. Now join us. You know it now. Here we go. You two over there. You are the air I breathe. You are the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me, and I'm grateful for you. And I'm grateful for you. So grateful for you. And so it is. All right, I'm going to invite Tyler and Strider and Sierra. We're going to be singing an Entertainment Club song that you all know, so come and join us. And the Entertainment Club. Here we go. And you guys go right here. And you get somewhere where a mic can capture you. How about over here? Right there, there's a mic, yeah. Here we go. I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up till I lay my Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sierra, for joining us. I'm going to invite Belinda up now, and the YOU and the open source group. Open source group, you're going to stand over here. The YOU goes over here. Here we go. You're in receiving. And Clara, come up here. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I am going to now do this moment in time where we graduate Strider from YOU into, I guess, being an adult, into the open source group. Are you getting ready to cry? Don't do that.
Definitely
not. Definitely have known Strider for a long time. Him, his brother, and Tyler were, what's the nice word for?
Rascals?
Very energetic rascals. Yes. And when Indigo joined, I was excited. Ooh, they've actually matured. When you joined YOU, I kind of went, oh, wow. What am I going to do for the next 4 years? Because his energy level was so intense and so sporadic and so ADHD, just couldn't focus, made me laugh all the time. And now I can very easily say that you are one of the most unique-minded individuals, unique souls that I've ever had the pleasure of getting to know. You are exceptionally introspective and deep with your thoughts and with your kindness to yourself and to others. He is one of our Regis, which is one of our regional officers of the South Central region for YOUs across the Unity South Central region. Him and his team have been working hard to create the event that we're going to be going to in the next week. And I'm so proud of you because he's exceptionally talented. Like, you've been making music and producing it and releasing it for what, 6 years now? Like, his stuff is on Spotify. It's impressive. He does it himself. He creates with other amazing artists. Like his mom, and he's insanely gifted in so many different ways. I am excited and also maybe slightly terrified about what you're going to create because you're so unique. It's going to be so out there, but also so grounded and so true to yourself. I've never met somebody who has finally figured out so completely how to be true to yourself. So, congratulations on graduating. And I'm going to pass the microphone over to you to kind of talk about what YOU has meant to you.
Okay. I feel like some of my most special memories, like ever, were here. And like being at school, it was so hard because people didn't see you and they projected their self onto you, especially their insecurities. And it was like so hard to be free. This was freedom. Going here and hanging out with Tyler and Indigo and running around the halls and screaming and then being scared, very scared because they would scare me and we would do games and horror games and stuff like that. That was freedom because they saw me, you know? And other than my parents, people really close to me that I love so dearly, people at school, they didn't see me. And it was so hard, and it made me so insecure, and it made me so scared. But they helped me. I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't have so much love for myself and confidence in myself to do what I'm doing and to go on the path I'm going on if it wasn't for this place. It was the environment that I needed. Like, it was my soil, it was my earth, you know? It was the fertilizer, it was everything. And every person here, you really changed me and impacted me in ways that you probably couldn't know, that I can't even know, which is insane. what you're looking at is a reflection of this environment. Because really, this is one of the most intense parts of my life. This was the environment that shaped me into the person I am today. So thank you. Thank you. And I will not let you down. I'll keep doing my thing, and you guys will see what I'm doing, and just know that you're a part of that, you know? You guys are all a part of that. And I do it for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Strider. I love you. We love you. And now, if you would like to cross the proverbial line into the open space group, congratulations. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Now we have a chance to listen to Rebecca Abraxas. She's going to take us into a chant. Why don't you guys sit into the consciousness of beautiful music for a minute before you run off, or maybe you won't listen to me, okay?
Give me just a sec, Rebecca, if you will. You all know Rebecca Abraxas. Welcome to our stage. She does a sound healing meditation on the third Friday each month. And this month it's going to be Friday, June 20th, downstairs in the meditation room. This specific one is going to be celebrating the summer solstice. So definitely come check that out. Tickets are cheaper if you buy them in advance, but you can still get them at the door. Take it away, Rebecca.
And we rise, and we rise, and we rise, and we rise from the ashes of the Christ, and they oh
Thank you, Rebecca, for that beautiful start. I did want to bring a little clarity of that graduation that we just had. That was the YOU, which is the Youth of Unity, which is ages 14 to 18, but Strider grew up in our Sunday school spiritual education all throughout his life. And then he moved on to the open source group, which is for ages 18 to 30 years old, which is an amazing, just experiential group to just discover what God or source or spirit is. Like, there's not really curriculum for this group. This is just to have really beautiful conversations and talk about wisdom moments or things where it was just seemed extraordinary, and they can talk to one another and not feel like they're a little loony, right? They can speak a language of spirit, and it's just a really wonderful outlet for these young people to feel supported too, especially in a world that can feel a little daunting right now, if we don't have that spiritual center, that beautiful, peaceful baseline within us. So I'm going to be starting a powerful new series exploring the Gospel of Thomas. And the talk title today is called Beyond What is Visible. It's a collection of Jesus' hidden teachings passed down not through church tradition, but recorded by Jude Thomas, a close companion of the living Christ. A bit of the background: what is the Gospel of Thomas? Before we dive into the teachings today, let's take a moment and understand what these words are and where they came from. The Gospel of Thomas is not like the four Gospels we find in the New Testament. It's not a story about Jesus' birth, miracles, death, or resurrection. Instead, it's a collection of 114 short sayings, wisdom teachings that Jesus is said to have spoken privately to his closest followers, which were his disciples. And we know in Unity that we are the disciples of this living truth. So why would we want to keep looking at the metaphors constantly and actually hear the words to the wisdom of how we live this life, and we live it abundantly, right? So where was it found? The Gospel of Thomas was lost for centuries, completely unknown to the world. That is until 1945, when something incredible happened. In the Egyptian desert, near a village called Nag Hammadi, a farmer digging for fertilizer discovered a scaled clay jar. Inside were 13 ancient books, written on parchment and bound on leather. Among them was the Gospel of Thomas, written in the Coptic language and ancient Egyptian script. The copy they found was made around the year 350 AD, but it's clear that it was a copy of a much older document originally written in Greek. These are not surface-level parables for the casual crowd. They are deep, mystical sayings offered to the earnest seeker, those willing to look beyond dogma and into the transformational. The mystery of the inner Christ that we're all looking for, right? I was thinking when I picked up this book this week, because I was thinking about the idea of, what is going on in this world, and every time you turn, you just can't believe the comedy of what is going on. You just really can't believe that humans at leadership levels are acting out in the way that they are. The disbelief, you get more and more disbelief of like, is this really happening? Am I in the twilight zone? It's crazy. And I was thinking about the idea of how wonderful would it be, the whole Christian idea that there's a second coming of Christ, right? That's going to come and bring resolve to all this lunacy, dishonesty, and lack of honor and truth. But we know that that's not the truth, right? We know that the truth that sets us free is knowing that we are the change that we're looking for in this world. But wouldn't it be wonderful if we could sit around a campfire with Jesus and listen to some sort of sayings that guide us how we move and move through this energy, transmute this energy, and bring it into something that's enlightening and beautiful and transformative, right? And so that's what made me go back to the Gospel of Thomas and say, okay, what was in there that he was saying to his disciples that he wasn't saying to the grand crowds, to the bigger picture? So Jesus said, you are permitted, this can't be the first one. Oh, yes, it is. Jesus said, you are permitted to understand the secret of the kingdom of God, but I use parables for everything I say to outsiders. In John 16:12, it states that Jesus has much more to say to them, but they cannot bear it now. So this is actually in the four Gospels, Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John. He's actually speaking to the fact that there is writings out there that eventually were found. And what he's saying states that Jesus has much more to say to them, but they cannot bear it now. Well, maybe we're here to bear it now, right? So this is the first insight that we're going to share. These are the hidden and private teachings that the living Jesus uttered, in which Didymos Jude Thomas wrote down, and he said this. This is the first one. Whoever finds the meaning of these sayings will not experience death. Whoever finds the meaning of these sayings will not experience death. These are not reflections about Jesus. These are direct sayings of Jesus, contemplative, symbolic, and timeless. As the Gospel of Thomas opens, Thomas signals a bold messenger. He says these teachings are not for the masses, but for the mystic within you. I'm sure you've heard of the secret teachings of Jesus. The Gospel of Thomas is one of the referred secret teachings. Also, there are the other Gnostic texts that go into those secret teachings, which is the Gospel of Mary and the Gospel of Philip. And they all refer to the idea that Jesus taught two levels of truth. There was the public teachings, which were parables, sermons, miracles for the masses. The private or esoteric teachings for his own close disciples. We are covering the private teachings for his close disciples, which we know at Unity we are brethren with. You can find Jesus referring to these secret teachings in Mark and John, which I just shared those with you. The verses highlight the idea that Jesus' teachings were not universally accessible, with some receiving more knowledge and understanding than others. Even in Jesus' time, there was concern that personality would replace principle, that the outer worship of Christ would eclipse the inner realization of the Christ within. Let's read this again, because we know what all these wars, all these things have been created on, is on this. Even in Jesus' time, there was concern that personality would replace the principle, the core truth of everything that he witnessed, shared, and was as in being in all. And we know that it says that Jesus is within us. The Christ is within us. That the outer worship of Christ would eclipse the inner realization of the Christ within. Thomas preserved these teachings to ensure that something essential would not be lost. And we look at, what does personality mean when it comes to spirituality? Personality is the outer self, the temporary learned identity that develops thought, life experiences, cultural conditioning, ego-based thinking, emotions and personal history. And then there's the other side, which we understand is the principle and the truth, which is divinity. Divinity is our true spiritual essence. The Christ within, it is eternal, changeless, and perfect, made in the image and likeness of God. The individualized expression of divine mind, wisdom, love, and power. There was a Christian minister that was feeling very bogged down by theology and feeling that it was missing an aspect to it. And yet she was doing her rote ministry, using Bible quotes, doing all of it. And this was a traditional Christian church, so there was no metaphysics involved to break them down and make them actually apply to our living experience right here and now. And she got frustrated with it. And she started to get very angry. And this is written about her experience from her experience. She wrote that everything in my life was challenged. The truth may set you free, but first it makes you angry. That was my experience. One day out in the desert, a friend who was walking with me and just listening to my complaining started to laugh. I asked him what was so funny, and he told me that he said, "You're the funniest person I know." All wrapped up in this little self of yours, like some comedy routine. I protested, "I'm not all wrapped up in myself. I don't even know what that means anymore." He said, "Well, you are right about that." He said, "You don't know what that means at all." He stopped walking and just looked at me, a very uncomfortable staring. It was like he looked through me to something else. He told me simply, "Why don't you become interested in observing yourself? See where you are and why you are thinking, feeling, and seeing what you are. You might be surprised. Just observe. Don't do anything. Stop all this nonsense about God. So what? You are the issue, not God. Religion is for the small-minded. Drop it. It's an illusion. This is what led her on her road towards the Gospel of Thomas and then the further other secret teachings of Jesus. So again, we look at that. Even in Jesus' time, there was a concern that personality would replace principle, that the outer worship of Christ would eclipse the inner realization of the Christ. Then we see that they were right. So they made Jesus the only access to God, right? He never said he was the only access. He said, I go to the Father. If you go to the Father, you will work the same miracles as I do. He always brought us along. But he's just saying, I'm a way shower. I'll show you how to do this life thing, and you can do it abundantly, and you're going to really love your life. But the Christianity world wants to make it that there is the only go-between, and that's through this acceptance of Jesus Christ as our Savior and that he died on the cross for us, because that is enlightening and helpful in some way. Instead of living through the living truth of what he taught us, he's saying, I am the way, the truth, and the light, as we all are. So while we're looking at these difficult things of the world, of the personalities, look at the personalities right now. It's interesting, right? It's like, okay, it couldn't possibly get worse than this. Don't ever ask that question. I say that every Sunday. Don't ever ask, because I keep thinking that, and then this week was just like foolery. I mean, absolute foolery. But again, we can't get caught up because we're the light bearers. We can merely observe, but not judge. Because it's just not, we see that the personalities are doing what personalities do. And yet we're still divine in nature. And that doesn't take our divinity away from us. So that was what Christ's example was, to always go within and to meditate and find deeper and deeper insights to the adversity that's out there. Let's bring the peace that's in here. And let us be that radiating center that moves out of that peace, so that it's collective and it's whole, and we start to be that change as a collective for this consciousness, so we don't ever have to have our grandchildren that are not here yet see what is going on. That's the prayer, right? And Wayne Dyer says it this way: truth is not something we acquire, it is something we remember. Truth is not something we acquire, it's something we remember. And Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, writes it this way: spiritual understanding is the knowledge of our divine nature. Spiritual understanding is the knowledge of our divine nature. So finding the meaning in all of it, finding meaning, this suggests more than mental comprehension. It points to inner realization. Not just theology, but transformation. A spiritual awakening that shifts your perception of who you are. Shifts your perception of who you are. And the more this person or these people are annoying you, you have to seek what's in them that's in us still. The most angry people about this, when you see the people are really like, can you believe that? If you saw that finger kind of point back, you could see that there's some actions within this person that has some sort of similarity some way. Those of us that are walking peacefully, I mean, I'll laugh. I'm not like, oh, it's disgruntled and the world's coming to the end, but I'm like, wow, this is a lot. This is something to be observed, right? So also realization is about moving from belief into embodied awareness, where truth becomes how you live, not just what you say. Truth is how you live, not just what you say. So your true self. Jesus is not promising physical immortality. He's revealing a deeper truth. Because a lot of times, a lot of people go through their life with this fear of this ending thing called death. And it's this physical thing that takes a lot of mind and heart space up when there's a much bigger picture at hand, because heaven is in the very midst of you here. So this thing takes us away from here. Okay, that's why he's saying, if you understand these teachings, you will never die. What he's referring to is that we are a living soul, and this soul never ends. It's this physicality that does. So you're developing the part of you that never dies, is what he's saying. And it's exciting. And once you really harness that, you'll start to understand, you start to have communication with the ethereal realm, this mystical space that's speaking in and through every aspect. Every ancestor, every person that preceded you is moving in and through your judgment, your love, your divinity, your everything in expression. And so it's no longer on the table of something that's distracting us. So your true self, the divine eternal essence, is unaffected by death. As the ego self, the false identity, built on fear and separation, fades the soul, and the soul rises, right? Death then is no longer experienced as loss, but as a passage that cannot harm the real you. The real you, the truth you, the principle you. The soul never dies. It simply changes form. You are not a human being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. This is actually by Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, which was often quoted by Wayne Dyer, and people always think that he came up with that statement, and he did not. But I just thought I would just share that, because he did never claim that it was his, but we all think it's Wayne Dyer that came up with those powerful words. So we need to ask ourselves a question. What would we be without the story of death? And I'm going to share this with you. What would my life look like if I lived with the awareness that I am not my body, not my fear, and not my past, but the living expression of divine spirit? Let's just sit with that for a second. What would my life look like if I lived with the awareness that I am not my body? Ram Dass said, "We are all just walking each other home." I always like to do the modern day echo of what was taught so long ago. That this has been a truth, this has been a principle since time began, and spiritual seers that have preceded us through all of time have been saying the same thing. The Spirit of God is within you. And the Spirit of God is you. And yes, beautiful supernatural things happen in this world, and we think, oh, well, maybe that is that God in the sky that we sometimes do call on when we're really in trouble, and we think in the dark alley and somebody's following us. All of a sudden, a God in the sky feels pretty good, right? Because it's us. If it's within us, then what's protecting us when we're in those difficult, scary moments? And what's protecting us is this ethereal realm that has consciousness. It's a collective consciousness, and it comes forward when you are needing protection, love, divine order, and guidance, right? I was outside with my son today because I was telling him I'm seeing these videos of people standing at trees and asking the trees to come and touch them, their branches. I said, let's just go see if it works. So we went and we stood outside, and he's goofing off because he's 19 and he knows everything, you know. But he is a spiritual boy, and he's always willing to try. I mean, this is the kid that can go like this, and hummingbirds just land on him constantly. He's naturally a gorgeous, beautiful being. But we stood there for a while, and nothing was happening. And I was like, well, maybe. And then all of a sudden, that part of the tree just started shaking. I was like, oh my God, do you see the whole tree is not moving right now except this one? And then the leaves right in front of me and right in front of him just started stretching like this towards us. This just happened outside the bookstore. So what is that? Because I love these proofs of what is that? Okay, this is the truth that we are all interconnected. We are all energy. We are all one. And when we live from this place of high consciousness, we can communicate with everything. We can move the stars in their places. We can move everything to divinely protect, connect, heal, whatever it is that is on our heart that we need to transform or transmute. But we get into our little mind, like that lady, he's saying, you're just in your little self. You're here bitching and moaning about Christianity and the Bible, but she hadn't opened her eyes. She hadn't opened her spiritual eyes yet to see, oh, Jesus had a deeper message than the parable. There was more to it. But only the disciples got that message because they had been praying and meditating and doing the work. And like he said, you guys aren't ready for this in Mark and John. But when they were found, we were ready for it. Right? So to see ourselves in the world is only the beginning. The deeper spiritual breakthrough happens when we ask, who is the I that sees myself in the world? Who is the I that sees myself in this world? This question breaks open the door to awakening. The seeker realizes there is a self behind the personality. That self cannot be touched by time, fear, or even death. It is not made of flesh. It is pure awareness, the Christ nature itself. This is the second saying in the book. This book has 140. This could be the longest series I've ever given. It would be like 2 years long. I'll cover my favorite ones. This is the next one. This is number 2. Let him who seeks continue seeking until she finds. When she finds, she will become troubled. When she becomes troubled, she will be astonished, and she will reign over all. Let's go back. I'm just going to say he. Let him who seeks continue, seeking until he finds. When he finds, he will become troubled. When he becomes troubled, he will be astonished, and he will reign over all. So, the spiritual description, this teaching is a spiritual roadmap, a non-linear transformative journey. So he's talking about seeking. Those who seek keep seeking, which is about a divine restlessness, the feeling that there's something more than appearances. There is something more than appearances, and we all have that feeling, and we want the appearance of something more. Right? And how do we do that? So the refusal to be satisfied with inherited beliefs or outer forms. We refuse to keep living in our limitations and our stuckness and our whatever else, your blockedness, your whatever, your limitations. And then we find ourselves becoming troubled because the ego begins to unravel. We seek and we find, but then we get troubled, right? Because we want to keep that. Ooh, we found it. We found it, and then it's like, oh, but life happens again, and then now we become troubled because it's like, how do I bring all this insight? How do I bring all this spirit to every aspect of my life? I can do it here because it's a good area of my life, but how do I bring it to all of here? How do I bring to all of it? How do I hold myself in this high consciousness to not let my ego want to take over? So the ego begins to unravel. You realize the you've identified with isn't the whole truth. The you have identified as is not the whole truth. So I had an experience on Friday where I was out to dinner with Mike, and we just had a little secret moment to go and get happy hour, like tapas, something a little cheap, just to go and have some time together after a really busy week. And we were completing, there was this busy alleyway. We were in Longmont, right off of Main. And this car was coming, and there was this older woman who looked so nervous and stressed in her car. I noticed the handicap thing hanging from her mirror, and she looked right into my soul. And I felt like she needed help. I could tell that she had a handicapped husband sitting in the passenger seat, and I just let it go. I was like, whoa, what just grabbed me through her eyes? I mean, her eyes just completely connected with me. Well, we paid and everything else. I forgot about it, and then we walked out to the alley, and she's standing outside her car in this non-parking area. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm trying to observe it. I'm observing it, and I finally get to my car, which is actually in a valid parking spot right next to her car. And I sit down, and it's like, oh, she needs my parking spot because that door is what he needs to get into, and he's got a wheelchair, and she's 100 years old herself. So I literally just got out. They never asked me. I said, did you need my parking spot? And she goes, yes, but she doesn't speak English. The whole thing was completely an intuitive dance. This woman's eyes grabbed me. I knew she needed my help. I watched the situation. I then stood this place was packed at this time. Cars were going by. I'm like, you have to go by, because I'm trying to let us get out so she can get in. And it just stayed with me all night. That's really what it's about. That's really the truth of this. We no longer need words. It's a feeling. We're just there. We're there to access this something that guides and directs. There is an intelligence to it. This wasn't my intelligence. This was a bigger intelligence that was helping this nice young couple get out and have a nice dinner together. But it was so chaotic and it was so overwhelming to just get the car parked, and I was there to help with that. Do you get what I'm saying right here? And it was chills when I got in my car, and I felt this nonverbal interaction with somebody. It felt so good. And if I live in this high state of consciousness, what can I actually do in this world if I'm really, truly listening? Like really, truly listening, observing, feeling, knowing when something's needing my service. And will something be listening when I need somebody else's service or help? I think that's the goal. That's exceeding death of any kind. That is now living from the part of us that never dies. That has this, we know. You know, it's like when somebody pops in your head and you're like, whoa, I haven't heard of that person in a while. And then you hear, oh, that person is facing a challenge, right? And you go. Like, it's like the universe says, awake, awake, you got to do something right now. You got to be there for somebody. Charles Fulmer says, there's a place in you where nothing is impossible. You were created not from dust, but from divine substance. So at your core, you are divine in nature. And that was just a divine interaction. And I don't know if that woman felt that divine interaction. I think she did. She was very grateful. But I felt it because I heard the call. And it doesn't have to be, we think it's going to be miracle working like stop floods or, you know, it's the subtleties of life, of being available to this living Christ within ourselves. Wayne Dyer says, the spiritual journey is not about becoming something. It's about unbecoming everything that isn't really you. It's about unbecoming everything that isn't really you. So I want to take us into a short meditation and just close our eyes and just get in the presence of this room and allow ourselves to just kind of sit with what was shared here today. And I'm sure what landed on you is very different from one person to another because we only hear through our own perspectives. We only feel from our own perspectives. So maybe we should try to channel and connect with the Christ perspective. The perspective from love. You as love embodied as. So let's just take a deep breath in and out. And gently allow your heart to open. These words are going to be spoken from the heart of Christ. And now hear these words, not just with your ears, but with your spirit. My beloved, you who are seeking, I see you. You are not far from the truth you long for. You are closer than breath, closer than thought. You have searched through the world. You have looked for meaning in voices, in books, in beliefs, and still your soul whispers, there must be more. That whisper is me. These sayings I give you are not just words. They are living seeds. And if you find their meaning, not just in your mind, but in your heart, you will never taste death. For death cannot touch the one who knows who they truly are. You are not your body. You are not your fear. You are not your past. You are the light behind your eyes, the stillness behind every breath. You are the one I have always known, and I am here, not above you, not outside of you, but within. Keep seeking, child of light. Do not grow weary. If you seek, you will find. But when you find, you may be troubled. You may tremble because everything you thought you were will begin to fall away. Your masks, your labels, your small stories. But do not be afraid. Let the crumbling be sacred. For only when the false falls away can the astonishment come. And when you are astonished, truly awakened, you will rise above this illusion. You will reign not over others, but over fear, over death, and over ignorance. You will remember, I am the Father. I and you are one. Now take a breath and feel what is eternal within you. That stillness, that clarity, that love. That is me. Whoever finds the meaning of these sayings will not experience death, because the part of you that finds the truth has never been born and will never die. Stay here a moment longer. Let your spirit rest in this knowing. You are already home. I and the Father are one, and so are you. Let your spirit rest in this knowing, remembering that you are already home. And when you're ready, open your eyes slowly. Bring this light back with you. Walk as one who remembers who you are. Thank you for everything that you are and you're contributing to this world, my sweet child. Amen.
Another beautiful expanded hours, taking in the truths that transform the minds and the lives of people. That's what's taking place here today. And we should be grateful for it, because it's not taking place everywhere in the world. It's not taking place in every church. It's taking place in some rare places, and this is one of them. And so now's the time that we can give to support Unity of Boulder, where we can come into and realize these truths that transform our lives and make life truly worth living. And so I'd like to say to those of you, are you signaling me?
Yes, I am. Zoilita Grant would like to say something, if you don't mind.
All right, go ahead.
So this is a church that I've gone to for many years, and I have a lot of emotional connections to it, and I realize that the church has financial problems right now. So I've just decided to make a pledge of $1,000 a month towards contributing to the church, and I would like to ask other people to join me in supporting our community.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, well, beautiful gift from the heart of a beautiful lady who's done so much good in her own way, bringing truth to light in the lives of others. I know that personally. She's been such an inspiration to our family. So thank you, Zolita, so much. And we can here bring into our hands those gifts we'd like to make to Unity of Boulder to support the truth we share here. And we can bless those gifts with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. And so we have Rebecca Braxis, who's going to share the most unique music you've ever heard. She is one of the great, great folk people of our time. Rebecca Braxis, let's have a hand for her.
Thank you, Jack. In my house in my heart, wondering how to set the world free. Seeing pain in my window and on my screen. I'm in a fishbowl watching it all and wishing my heart was 10 feet tall. Can love really make it all okay? It's the inside that makes the outside. It's the inside that makes the outside. I wanna be change I wanna see. I wanna be the change I want to see. I know it all comes down to me. It all comes down, it all comes down to me. It all comes down, it all comes down to me. Am I a victim to all the insanity? Am I just a martyr to my news feed? Paralyzed by what comes over me. I could laugh and I could scream. The dark is always there, but so is the light. My point of view guides me through the night. It's the inside that makes the outside. It's the inside that makes the outside. I wanna be the change I wanna see. I wanna be the change I want to see. I know it's all well up to me. It all comes down, it all comes down to me. It all comes down to me. There is a light happening here. It will take away the fear. Each one of us can expand the light. It's up to us to shine it bright. It's the inside that makes the outside. It's the inside that makes the outside. I wanna be the change I wanna see. I wanna be the change I want to see. I know it's all well up to me. It all comes down, it all comes down to me. It all comes down, it all comes down to me. It all comes down, it all comes down to me.
Thank you, Rebecca, for the most appropriate music. Super intuitive lady, I'll tell you that. Oh my goodness. All right, well, we'll have our discussion group right after this service in the back of the sanctuary if you want to chat about the talk, or you have something in your heart, or there's a question you have about anything that's going on here. We have fellowship in the fellowship hall with food and coffee, so you could go grab a little food and coffee and then come back in here and have about a half an hour chat, because I'm taking him out for Father's Day today. I know it's not Father's Day, but I will be out of town next Sunday.
Okay.
And I left you last year on Father's Day, and I felt bad.
All right.
You've been too good to me to not celebrate you.
Okay. I can handle it.
Okay. All right. So, all right. So let's all rise and close with "Let there be peace on earth." Gosh knows we need that. Let's put this energy of our hearts into it. Here we go.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creation, family all are we. the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Now it's your turn. Here we go. I'm free in the Spirit. In my heart.
Yes,
I'm only here for God.